A German hospital treating the Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny says tests they've carried out indicate he was poisoned. In a statement, they say the clinical findings indicate poisoning by a substance from the group of active substances called cholinesterase inhibitors. While the doctors haven't yet identified the specific substance, they suggest it's been designed to impede brain activity. Here's Jenny Hill with more.
He is still in a coma. They say his condition is serious, although they say it's not life-threatening. But at this stage, they say they can't be sure that he'll make a full recovery. There may be some long-term consequences for his health. Now, they've been examining him ever since he arrived in Berlin on Saturday for treatment. They said it would take some time to try and get to the bottom of what had happened to him. And we still don't have all the answers. They still can't tell us exactly what the substance is, just that they are treating him now with an antidote. And as I say, his condition isn't thought to be life-threatening.
Well, the Russian news agency Interfax has reported that doctors in the city of Tomsk, where the plane Mr Navalny was on, made an emergency landing, says he tested negative for those cholinesterase inhibitors. Here's a tweet from Mr Navalny's press secretary, though. It's in Russian, but translated it says, "The fact that Alexei was poisoned was confirmed by us from the very beginning, despite the statements of the Tomsk doctors and state propagandists. Now our words have been confirmed by analysis in independent laboratories. The poisoning of Navalny is no longer a hypothesis, but a fact." Now remember, Mr Navalny is a politician and blogger who's long been the most prominent face of opposition to Russian President Vladimir Putin. He fell ill on a domestic flight last week. Now here you can see footage of Mr Navalny being wheeled into an ambulance on the tarmac. His supporters suspect he drank poisoned tea at the airport before departing. And witnesses on the plane reported he was screaming in pain. He was later flown to Berlin for treatment. Well, last week, the Russian government said claims of poisoning are only assumptions until testing proved otherwise. Now, it's worth remembering, though, the Kremlin's been accused of carrying out poisonings before, and on each of those occasions, it's denied any involvement. Back in September 2018, German doctors treating Pyotr Versilov said it was highly plausible he'd been poisoned. He's involved with the anti-Putin band Pussy Riot. Earlier in 2018, former Russian double agent Sergei Skripal and his adult daughter Yulia were found unconscious on a park bench in Salisbury in the west of England. While they both survived, British police said they were poisoned with the highly toxic nerve agent Novichok, which is also a cholinesterase inhibitor. Going further back to 2006, another former Russian spy, Alexander Litvinenko, died here in London after drinking tea laced with highly radioactive polonium. The head of a subsequent British government inquiry issued this finding. "Taking full account of all the evidence and analysis available to me, I find that the Federal Security Service operation to kill Litvinenko was probably approved by FSB Director Nikolai Patrushev and also by President Putin." I've been speaking to our correspondent Sergei Goryashko in Moscow.
Kremlin for now remains silent. The only one response I've had already heard is that the one I got from the vice chair of the Committee on International Affairs in Russian higher upper level of parliament. So Vladimir Jabarov, he told me that he does not believe in any poisoning claims, that he thinks that German doctors are biased and that Russian government would not let Navalny leave Russia if they had to cover up any poisonings, any traces of poison. So, which is why he's pretty sure and pretty confident that Navalny has not been poisoned, that he has just fallen ill, as President Putin referred to his European counterpart, Charles Michel. He earlier said that Navalny just has fallen ill, and that's it.
And Sergei, if it is confirmed that this substance was in his blood, does anything really change? Because as we've seen in previous suspicions of poisoning cases, there's nothing but a blanket denial.
Well, sure it does, because actually that was the main reason why Navalny has been held in Omsk. Well, that's what his supporters believe. They believe that doctors in Russia decided to keep Navalny in this Siberian city to cover up the traces of any poison, and after that they will let him travel to Germany or to other countries to be treated. But there will be no claims that Navalny has been poisoned. There will be no traces of this toxin in his blood. But it appears that there have been some traces, which is why it's pretty bad situation for Kremlin, because in this case they will be asked to find who is accountable, who performed this attack on an opposition leader in Russia. And of course, Kremlin will be held responsible either way. If they are even not connected at all with this poisoning, they will be held responsible in case to find who are actually involved in that, who ordered this attack. So if they wouldn't find it, there will be also problems for Kremlin, for President Putin himself, because in every meeting, every European leader will definitely ask him, what happened to your opposition leader, what happened to your rival, why haven't you found anyone who's responsible for the attack, and so on and so on, which is why it's a difficult situation for Kremlin, and which is why I think they remain silent for now.